What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. I am the House Hacking Mom, and in today's video we are going to talk about where on earth I have been for the last 5 months. I have not made a video in quite a long time. My life has just been very busy, very crazy, and as you can see right here, I am very pregnant. So y'all have missed out on a lot of what's been going on with me. So for this first video back, I just wanted to share with y'all what this pregnancy has been like thus far, how it compares to my first pregnancy, what it is like being pregnant in the summer versus being pregnant in the winter, and how it's like being pregnant during this whole COVID fiasco that's going on right now. So if that interests you, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, and let's jump right into the video. So as of filming this video, I am already 28 weeks pregnant, so I'm already through my first and second trimesters, and I am into my third trimester. So starting with my first trimester, the biggest difference between my last pregnancy and this pregnancy was the morning sickness and the nausea. With my first pregnancy, I definitely had a lot of morning sickness. I threw up pretty much every day from about 11 weeks through 18 weeks or so. At least once a day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day I was throwing up. But usually after I threw up, I felt pretty decent relief. I felt much better. As long as I kept up with eating and keeping my stomach from getting too empty, I usually felt okay. I was also working full-time during my first pregnancy, and I was functional at work. You know, I didn't feel good for sure, but I was functional. This pregnancy, about that same window again, from about 11 weeks through 18 weeks or so, I also had the really bad morning sickness, but I didn't vomit as much. I wasn't throwing up several times a day or even every day. However, the nausea just didn't go away. It lasted all day long, almost that car sickness feeling, that very dizzy. I described it as head nausea, like my head just felt nauseous. It wasn't so much in the pit of my stomach, which is how it was with my first pregnancy. This time around, it was just way more in my head. I found myself taking a lot of cat naps because the only relief I ever felt was when I was asleep. So this pregnancy compared to last pregnancy, first trimester, definitely felt physically worse compared to my last pregnancy, but I was throwing up less. So there were pros and cons to each. Second trimester, last pregnancy compared to this pregnancy, they were roughly about the same. Once the morning sickness was gone, I felt pretty much fine. Yes, you're pregnant, your belly is starting to show, but you don't feel that ickiness, and your energy is actually pretty good. For me, both pregnancies, my energy has been very good. Usually up until about halfway through the third trimester, then you really start to feel sluggish. My first pregnancy, I was pregnant with a girl, and this time I am pregnant with a boy. And the biggest difference is, as far as the baby itself is concerned, that I have noticed is that this little baby is way more active than my little girl ever was. I started feeling movement a lot earlier, maybe more around 19, 20 weeks. I was already starting to feel some movement, much more vigorous movement. So I think this baby maybe is going to be very high energy. This little boy is going to be very high energy. And I've also noticed that my heartburn has been much worse with this pregnancy compared to last pregnancy. After I eat, especially progressing on into the evening, it's not so bad in the morning, but with lunch and with dinner, it definitely starts getting worse. And if I bend over at all after eating a meal, like to pick something up off the floor, you just feel this hot, burning sensation right here at your throat. So that has been way different. And I know some people say that means your baby's gonna have a lot of hair. Who knows? We'll see. She actually was born with quite a bit of hair. And I didn't have a lot of heartburn. So I mostly think that that is just an old wives' tale. The biggest difference that I have noticed as far as being pregnant in the winter and being pregnant in the summer is basically what you would expect it to be, and that is just that you are hot all the time. And I am temperature sensitive anyway. I get cold pretty easily. I get hot pretty easily. I like to be at an ambient temperature at all times. But being pregnant in the winter, you are definitely warmer when you're pregnant, just in general. So I was pretty comfortable aside from being pregnant, but temperature wise, I was pretty comfortable last winter because I had my baby in March. So I was pregnant through all the really cold months and I was fine. Temperature wasn't really a big deal. This time, being pregnant in the summer, I walk outside for 3 seconds and I feel like I am already sweating. Now, we do live in South Carolina, so it is hot here in general, especially in the summer. So this water bottle has been a huge lifesaver for me. This is the Thermo flask water bottle that I got from Amazon. I will link it below if you're interested. But it is a really great thermos, and the ice doesn't melt in there for a really long time. Keeps my water nice and cold, and I take this with me everywhere. I almost always have this within arm's reach, and it helps me to stay hydrated, and that's super important when you're pregnant, ladies. So make sure you have a good water bottle that you like, and it's also nice to have one that you find aesthetically pleasing, because you'll probably just be more likely to use it if you think it's pretty. Other symptoms that are different this time around with my pregnancy, I have some varicose veins this time around. One actually just popped up last night on the side of my knee, and it is sad. I will be honest, I didn't get any varicose veins at all with my first pregnancy, and so I was sort of hoping that I had dodged that bullet. And it's sad because they're definitely relatively sore and painful, and you feel them, and they're obviously ugly too. So that's kind of been unfortunate this pregnancy. Now, I know that usually they at the very least significantly shrink when you're not pregnant and your blood volume goes down between pregnancies. So hopefully they will either completely go away or at least significantly reduce once I have had the baby. Just know that that is something that happens. It is normal. A lot of women get them when they are pregnant. If not, most women get them when they are pregnant, especially if you're going to be having several children, several pregnancies. So just prepare yourself mentally for that. I should have been more mentally prepared, but it still was kind of a bummer to look down at your leg and see that vein sticking out there. It is still okay because you are still beautiful, even if you have varicose veins. And it just means that you participated in one of the most amazing parts of what you were created to be, which is a mother. This pregnancy, I am obviously also caring for my 15-month-old who is still nursing a little bit. So that has been interesting, trying to figure out how to nurse her and even just hold her at all with my growing belly. Basically, I just shift her further and further to the side because she doesn't fit on my belly. And a lot of people have asked me, do you think she knows what's going on? No, she doesn't have a clue. She just thinks my belly is growing and she likes to pat it, blow raspberries on it, but that is pretty much it. So I think she will be still shocked whenever the baby does show up. We do have a little baby doll for her that we call Baby. We don't call it doll, we call it Baby. And we tell her to hold it, and she holds it and kisses it. It is very sweet with it, because that was the closest thing I could think of to try to prepare her for the baby. And I'll hold the baby and I'll hug the baby, and she's fine with that. So we'll see. I know it's still going to be an adjustment for her either way. Fortunately, my husband this time around does get a pretty long paternity leave. Last time around, he took a week off. He just took that out of his vacation, but this time around his company's policy has changed, so he can get up to 4 weeks of paternity leave, which is awesome. So I know she will still be getting a lot of love and attention from daddy, at least, even if mommy is going to be busy taking care of her little brother. One other thing that is different from last pregnancy and this pregnancy is for my first pregnancy, I ended up with full-fledged preeclampsia right at the end of my birth. So for this pregnancy, the current recommendation is to take 2 81 milligram aspirin every day. So that has been an addition to my pregnancy routine. Thus far, My blood pressure has been good, and hopefully I will not have preeclampsia with this birth as well. So that is something that we are praying for. So what has it been like being pregnant during the coronavirus? Well, it's kind of been a bummer, as you would imagine, just like every other aspect of life has been during the coronavirus. My OB appointments have been in the car. That's how they have been doing it at the office that I go to. So you sit in the car, the nurse comes out, takes your blood pressure, takes your temperature, of course, and then the midwife comes out, measures you, asks if you have any questions, listens to the heartbeat. So that has been really strange, that it's almost like drive-through medicine. For my anatomy scan, I definitely went in-house and they did that. I was allowed to have one person with me, so my husband was able to come. We just wore masks the whole time. And going forward, the baby is due in September. And as of right now, the hospitals are still saying, you know, you will be allowed to bring one person with you who will stay with you the entire hospital stay. So it's not like you can have one person and they can switch out. As long as you only have one person with you, it's you, whoever you go in with to the hospital, that's the only person who can be with you the entire stay, and they cannot come and go. They have to come and they have to stay. So that will definitely be my husband. He will be the one to come with me. Some hospitals are requiring the mothers to wear the mask during delivery. As of right now, I'm not supposed to have to wear a mask during the delivery. I feel like I would probably pass out if I had to have my mouth and nose covered for that amount of time. But whatever we'll have to do, we will get through it. But I definitely am hoping and praying that I will not have to wear a mask during my delivery. So those are pretty much all of the differences I can think of between my last pregnancy and this pregnancy. Really, overall has been a very good pregnancy. I really can't complain. If you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comment section, or you can find me on Facebook or on Instagram at House Hacking Mom. Thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure you come back and watch more videos about healthy eating, frugal living, and minimalist parenting. Bye.